So here I am, a morning walk in the village in Corsica. We're quite high up, so it does get a little bit chilly. Down there it's nice, it's like about, I don't know, 20 degrees at the height of the day. Whereas here's about 17, 18, and in the shade it's quite cold. Anyway, going up all the way uphill, trying to get some exercise because of the cancer treatment. With the cancer treatment, you're advised to exercise as much as possible to counteract the I can't talk anymore, side effects. So anyway, I would like to talk to you about my alcohol problem. And I've been without alcohol now for 3 years in 2 days time, and honestly I really don't miss it. And I'd like to give some advice to people who are trying to give up a drink, how I did it. Now basically I used YouTube a lot. I found a few channels that dealt with the problem, basically talking about how the industry works and how we're kind of like born into it and surrounded by alcohol, and it's a pretty good way of doing it. And as you can see here, this is great doing this. So my main issue wasn't giving up. I just gave it up pretty easily. I just basically stopped. I didn't have any reason really to stop. It was kind of like a end of the year, and so it's like the 1st of January in 2020 that I started, and I said I'll do a couple of months without alcohol, and then I said I'm going to do a year. So I did a year and then just kept on. So my main issues were at the beginning well, there weren't any issues. It was like this pink cloud effect that was really weird. It kind of makes you feel really good, and that was really good. It wasn't really an issue. That was really good. And then that kind of goes away. So then you have to start sort of working on stuff. And went into lockdown and continued not drinking. That was really good. And so it wasn't really a problem. I just felt, I don't know, somewhere inside me was telling me to stop drinking. I think maybe because my body knew that I was ill, but that's another issue. But today, the fact that I didn't drink and never smoked really, the doctor said that was a big, massive factor in the fact that I could handle the treatment the way I did. A lot of people that go into chemo, they can't handle the chemo, so they can't get the right treatment. They can't get the full treatment, and I did, because I was actually on form to be able to handle it. Here's a village. That's the school, and as you go up, the view gets better and better. So it's pretty impressive. Some of these channels are really good, and they go into how to stop and the psychological effects and all the rest of it. And that's really useful. And what I used to do is, as soon as I used to get tempted, which wasn't often, I'd go back and watch the some of the channels. They put me back on route, basically. So yeah, it was a good thing to do. I enjoyed it as well. It was something to do during lockdown, and figuring out that the world is when you come to think of the lobbying that goes on with the alcohol companies that kind of control things and make us want to drink, basically. It's quite weird when you watch a TV series, or especially American TV series or a film, where they systematically serve themselves a huge glass of bourbon or something every time they get home, and a massive glass of wine, and it seems to be systematic. It's a bit weird, but it's kind of a product placement, I think. So yeah, we're kind of conditioned into drinking from an early age, and yeah, I really appreciate not having hangovers in the morning. I wasn't someone who really drank a lot. I would drink mainly beer and wine. I wasn't into spirits. They would make me really aggressive. And so it was a pretty cool thing to do. So guys, looking at me thinking I'm a total nutter talking to my phone, but that's all right. That's like they're not used to it around here. And so I kind of used to drink, you know, half a bottle of wine and a couple of beers, and sometimes I used to escalate out, but never really got to an alcoholic stage. But I definitely was drinking way too much and every day. So this view here. So the first year, what you basically do is you rewire your brain, because when you go to a party or go to a wedding, you go on holiday and you're sitting on a terrace, all that is kind of, the memories of that is with drinking. So you kind of have this hardwired thing in your brain. It's like good time associated with alcohol, and what you need to do is rewire your brain. So when you go on holiday, you go out and you do it without alcohol. I discovered non-alcoholic beer was really good, but it took me nearly 3 years to discover that it actually tastes really good. And yeah, that kind of helped me not feel left out, and that kind of it's got a thing about making you feel like, okay, I'm having a beer sitting out in the sun. But I didn't do that for a couple of years because I was scared of falling back into drinking. But lately I've been doing it for the last few months, and it's brilliant because I actually like it, and it's not as caloric as caloric, do you say that? Yeah, not as caloric as like Coca-Cola or ginger beer, stuff like that. So it's quite nice to drink it, and the fact there's no alcohol in it actually tastes nice, because now when I smell alcoholic drinks, they smell really strong. You can smell the alcohol in it. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, going rewiring the brain. So over the space of a year, if you get the chance to go through all the events where you associated alcohol with having a good time, your brain rewires itself. Say next year when you go out, the following year, it kind of does, but not as strong, because you've done it. You've been to a restaurant, you've been to a bar, you've been to a wedding, you've been to funerals, as I have, and stuff like that, without beer, without drink, and or alcohol. And that actually does help. It rewires your brain into not systematically thinking that alcohol equals a good time. So that took a bit of time to work itself out. And I think after 3 years, my brain is now kind of rewired now. I don't think about alcohol at all, and there's very little situations that actually trigger me. And drinking the non-alcoholic beer fills in that gap of having a nice cool beer sort of thing. And I didn't find anything to replace that. But now I can do it without any consequences, have a couple, and that's it. You don't feel like anymore. The alcohol doesn't kick in for you to drink more, so that's good. But yeah, it took me a few years, and like I said, I actually recorded quite a lot of the effects. I can't remember what I said in my videos now. I shall maybe go back and have a look, because some of it I analysed a lot of the stuff when it was happening. But now I'm coming over it, and I went through some rough patches, illnesses and stuff, so last year was pretty full on. I did a video about that, but not drinking definitely helped that. And yeah, okay, another car. So going up this hill. It's a mile long hill all the way up to the top of the village, and as you can see the mountains in the background, a little bit of snow over there behind me, you can see them. So that kind of makes it a little bit cold here, the chill, the wind chill that comes down off the mountains. But in the summer it's 40 degrees, so it's nice. So yeah, that's the way I got through alcohol. I mean, if you want, I'll put the links in to the sites that I used, and I still watch from time to time. They're really good for stopping drinking alcohol. And alcohol is just not good for you. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you drink, and there are some myths about red wine being good for your heart, but that actually is a load of bullshit. I looked it up and I did a bit of research on it, and apparently it all started in the 50s on the American TV when they were looking at diets in countries. And I don't know if this is God's honest truth. I read this as being the origin of the myth, still to be 100% verified, but apparently the TV presenter was talking about how the French and the Europeans diet was really good for you, and there was a lot less heart attacks in Europe than there was in the United States because of the diet. And one of the other TV presenters said, oh, well, it must be the red wine. And the other guy said, yes, so if you want to have a good heart, drink lots of red wine. And apparently that's where it all started, and they kind of hooked onto that, and it became a myth. But it's not actually true. No alcohol is good for you. Now, might get some arguments on this, but apparently it's not true. There's no proof saying that red wine is good for your heart. Alcohol is just not good for you. I mean, it's like saying, okay, a bit of petrol, it's good for the heart. But it's not, is it? Fucking alcohol is pure ethanol. The base of it is ethanol, which is fucking fuel. And yeah, people saying, oh, I can moderate. It's like saying, okay, I'm on heroin and I'm going to moderate now. I'm just going to have a bit of heroin on the weekend, but all's fine. But it's the same with alcohol. Most people, and I've tried it myself, you try to moderate and you go, I'm going to just drink at the weekend, and 9 times out of 10 it will be a case of it creeping back, and the weekend starting on a Thursday, and the weekend starting on a Wednesday. And yeah, so here's a car again, another car coming by. This is nice. And happy, Eddie. It's a dog here. It's my dog. It's not my dog, it's my daughter's dog, but he kind of belongs to the family. Anyone of the family, he will just follow us around. Nearly out of breath. I'm not far to the top of the village. But anyway, so alcohol is just, doesn't matter how much you drink, it's not good for you. So that's the way it is. And anyway, I kind of feel youngsters who do youngsters that drink occasionally for a laugh and have a party, and that's great, there's no problem, and your body can sort of like eliminate it, get over it, but I think like from 40 onwards, where you got kids and you're staying in, although this is not the case with everyone, you kind of end up drinking a little bit at home, and then it becomes like a thing where you reminisce about the past, and that's where alcohol represents a good time, because you were having a good time when you were in the 20s, and alcohol is a big part of that, partying. And you sort of like sit at home listening to music from that era and having a drink, and that continues on. You just keep doing that, you know, maybe not every day, but you know, from time to time you reminisce about it all. But then the drinking becomes a bit of a habit, and people's just start getting tolerant towards it, and the body can take more, and you just drink a bit more, and every day you drink, you know. And so when I got to 60, I stopped. That was it. My last drink was at 59, nearly 60, and I don't think I'll drink again. I don't feel the need. I don't have any urging for it. It's not a problem. And I was really fit until I got ill, and it, you know, you could see the difference. I was like skating all over the place, but I'll get back into that after this cancer thing. This is seriously uphill, by the way. But yeah, if I was hungover, I wouldn't be able to do this. And most people are still trying to get over Christmas. We've got New Year's in 2 days' time, and I'll be sober. And it's like, when you get older, you don't want to waste your time, do you? You haven't got much left. If you're spending it on a couch in the morning, lying out because you're completely hungover, well, you're losing a day there, aren't you? You're losing more, because the evening you're getting drunk, so you've lost that. You're not productive in any way. No, you're having a good laugh, but you know, that's kind of like a bit of an illusion. And then the next day you're and the trouble is the older you get, the worse it gets, you know. And you end up feeling really ill for a few days, and that is time wasted. And you don't want to, you know, you don't want to taste, because we're all going to end up here, aren't we, soon? Yeah. So if we spend that time, you know, feeling hungover, then that's not a good thing. So yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. I will continue my walk. I've got another 5 minutes till I get to the top, and then it's all downhill. I try to do this every day, and yeah, it's nice. Anyway, catch you soon. Ciao.